Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the trading table. This is Andrew. Joining me is Landon, and today we're going to be going over some of the biggest movers of the market, what to watch for tomorrow, and more. Looking at our heat map here for the S&P 500, right? We can see that a lot of green. I've been talking about this for a while, right? People are going to come in, they're going to buy this dip, they're going to eat it up. SPY is not supposed to be this low, and it definitely wasn't supposed to be. As you can see, we're absolutely flourishing in the market right now. Just constant bull run up. If I hide, my lines here. Look at these candles, super full, super engulfing, with very little pullbacks. This is a really nice uptrend. We are due for a pullback, so perhaps tomorrow morning, right? Maybe we could be slightly bearish. I don't know. I'm not opposed to a bearish day. We do have a gap up here that we need to fill. So, maybe a pullback down to like the 544 area would be nice to see from SPY. If not tomorrow, then maybe next week. But nevertheless, look at this. We had data come out this morning, absolutely just boosted the market up, uptrended all day. Unfortunately, we did not have any plays today either, which is kind of funny. But, I'm sure tomorrow there will be people entering this. I'm sure people are just waiting for a pullback to just enter these plays because everything is just green right now. Look at my watch list, right? Green. Everything except Bitcoin was green. So, great signs for the market. And like I said, the level I'm watching to break is this 554 level, and we are 50 cents away from it. If we can break that and stay above it, 100%, we're out of the downtrend. I'm like 99% we're out of the downtrend right now, obviously, because we're at 533. But yeah, if you look at that, I remember me and Landon posted a video talking about, get in some positions right now. The market's on sale, right? Long-term calls are a great option here. One of the stocks we said long-term calls for was Microsoft. Microsoft is up. It has been up. It's just rising up. Look at this uptrend, just beautiful. It's just kind of like it looks like a linear equation, like Y equals MX plus B right here. Straight line up. Great movement from Microsoft. It was kind of struggling at first when the market finally started rebounding. As we could see right here, on the 8th of August, it was still kind of like down. And on the 8th of August here, the market was just absolutely running up. So it was kind of lagging behind. So you had a lot of time to get in on this. And even if you don't day trade, swing trading these, writing or selling some, writing options works too if you have a bunch of shares of the company and whatnot. So, there's always opportunities to make money in a dip, right? I can tell you right now that if the market crashed and if you were seriously worried about that, if the market did actually crash and just kept downtrending all the way to like a SPY hit, 400, there would be a lot more to worry about than your contract and what your investment account is doing, right? Because guess what? We're probably in World War III. Speaking of World War III, we do have a lot of news to get into later in the video on the Middle East and what is going on over there. But in spite of all that is happening right now, the VIX is actually super low. Or, well, not super low, but in comparison to what we've been at, the VIX is very, very low. We're at 15.22 right now. That is almost ideal VIX. Like I said, my ideal VIX is 13.5 to 14.5. So 13.23 is basically the same thing. It's close enough. So tomorrow should be a really, really good trading day. I'm actually really excited for tomorrow. Just because, as you can see, the market tends to follow trends better when the VIX is lower, right? Previously, especially when the VIX was really high, right? If we take a look maybe at let's see if we can find a good example. Maybe this day. As we can see, right? So just basic uptrend, right? You have a higher low, higher high, right? We break the higher low rule here, but then we keep uptrending. So, things like that tend to happen when the VIX is high. So when the VIX isn't high, like, today it's average, right? Straight uptrend all day almost, with like this exception of this area right here. So, do not fight the trends, right? If the market is uptrending and you see stocks like Apple, Nvidia, Microsoft, Google, all just in the green, don't fight it. It's probably going to keep uptrending, right? If all these stocks are strong. But, Tesla also huge green candles today at open, right? Yesterday they were kind of down a bit. Tesla's doing great. And, their competitor, Lucid, if I can remember their tick. Okay. Yep. There it is. LCID, they've actually been doing unusually well recently. There's been a lot of bullish news about them. They did have a pretty, steep earnings kind of come out But yeah, they've been actually doing pretty good recently. In comparison to all-time highs, though, that's literally nothing. They're at pretty much all-time lows. But for like, like a month time frame, they're not doing too bad right now. It looks like they could kind of start uptrending here. They have been kind of chopping around between like this 330 resistance and this 2.85 support. But if they could break out of either one of those, in either direction, Lucid, it could be a great stock to trade. With the EV sector, there's not a whole lot of competitors as big as Tesla. Actually, there are no big competitors as big as Tesla. Tesla is the biggest, obviously. You have Rivian is probably the closest competitor to Tesla in the EV market. So, it just kind of depends, because this is also an election year. If, for example, the Harris administration gets elected, Harris and Waltz, right? You'll probably see EVs skyrocket just because of their views on climate change policy and whatnot. And, if Trump gets elected, I don't even think it will affect EVs, just because the market just generally does really good under Trump. Obviously, it could maybe, wiggle a little bit down, but overall, the market just does good under a Trump administration. So Tesla would be to the upside either way. But yeah, just keep that in mind. Just play real world news to your advantage, right? Shopify is absolutely just running up. We've been talking about Shopify these past couple of videos here. And to be honest, it's running up so high that, I might actually start looking for some short positions in Shopify if we get to like this 80 area. Well, maybe. I'll see how it reacts to it. But yeah, Shopify, right? We do have, a nice uptrend going right now with Shopify. The past earnings have been great for them. They've been absolutely firing. They're the only competitors to Amazon, who is also doing really good right now. We called out Amazon like a while ago at like when they were like 166, I think on Monday this week. We've been calling them out since the market kind of recessed a little bit, and they had earnings. So Amazon is also coming back up. Not too late to get into Amazon, right? Because if we look here, their all-time highs are at 200. We're at 177. So I might be, honestly, we'd be waiting for a pullback here to enter some longs. Intel, on the other hand, is doing great. If you guys see, they have this gap the size of Texas here to fill. And I think it's definitely possible that they do that in these next coming months. Me and Landon are in a long-term position for Intel, full transparency with the trading table. So, just keep an eye out for Intel back to the upside, right? Just once again, we haven't been at this level since 2013. So, Intel had a really bad earnings report, and, a lot of buyers have been coming in here taking up this dip. It is a little bit more on the risky side just because Intel as a company, their financials don't completely check out, but it's kind of like a thing where, they're so low and this gap is so big that needs to be filled that, eventually it will happen. Last time they gapped down like this due to earnings, it did take, let's see here, it did take about 2.5 months to kind of fill this gap, right? So this is definitely a way longer time frame call option contract that me and Landon have cooked up here. But the risk reward is great as well. If you do consider entering this 1925 support here on Intel is really, really good for your risk reward. Intel is just, honestly, it's one of my more favorite stocks to trade just because every time it just abides by support and resistance so well. It's unbelievable. See, if we go back here, every time we hit this 30 level, we have some type of an uptrend, right? The RR is great. And by RR, I mean risk reward, right? If you enter a kind of, a trade, right? Let's say you enter when the market hits, that 30, right? You literally just have your stop loss like a few ticks below, like maybe right here. And then you take profit at like, I don't know, previous highs-ish. And then, it might take some time, but eventually it does end up working out. You could take profit anywhere in between as well. That 30 support is something it used to really abide by. It used to make for some really, really easy just break and retest trades. And right now, that new level is the 1925 level. So, if you don't have the support and resistance lines on your chart, it's super easy to get. Just hop out to the 15-minute, right? You could see where the market kind of bounces off of. This 1925 level is an amazing level. The last time we hit it was on Monday. As you can see, we've been uptrending ever since. So, with my contract, though, it is a lot longer time, and my target price is around 27 to 28. So I'm just chilling right now. I'm just holding. I'm not too worried about it unless I see some news that kind of convinces me otherwise. But yeah, this 1925 level is a great level to look at for Intel. China stocks have been absolutely firing recently. I've been talking about PDD for quite some time now. I think I've been over them on Tuesday, Wednesday. I think every day this week I've been talking about PDD. It might be getting kind of repetitive, but I do apologize. But PDD is just absolutely uptrending insanely. We did have like over $10 million of like this hedge fund, or I don't know who it was, flow into this stock. They are reporting earnings in 7 days. The big money play actually expires tomorrow. And I'm going to be checking after this video to see if they are still in. If you are interested, if they are still in, let me know. And just at me in Discord, and I'll send you a screenshot if they are or not. But yeah, that guy really held through the storm. I mean, he entered, some place in like June-ish, maybe like, it might have been like, mid-June. It was mid-June. I remember it was mid-June. And then it just started downtrending. So, that guy held all the way to 120. So, he doesn't exactly know what risk management is, but it's okay. PDD to the upside, right? Bitcoin, 57,000. Bitcoin is kind of starting to scare me a bit, right? It really is. And I don't normally say that. I'm like always very like bullish on the dips, but if you guys are seeing what I'm seeing here, right? We're seeing kind of a trend down, where we're making lower highs and lower lows. So it's not the best sign right now. I want to see Bitcoin kind of break back above this like 69,000 area, or even like come back up to the 70,000 area soon, because this is kind of starting to get worrisome here. There's not been a lot of, really good signs for there hasn't been a lot of good signs for Bitcoin recently, just with how much volatility the market's been seeing. However, whenever there's a dip on Bitcoin, okay, I swear it always comes back up. And even you can see here even in the news, we've got bullish signals for Bitcoin. Even when Bitcoin is low, all these institutions are talking about Bitcoin to the upside, right? We could definitely see Bitcoin back to the upside as well, because people are going to keep averaging in here, buying in, and it's just kind of almost a guarantee on a long-term investment, right? Just based off of the history of it. And I know a lot of people don't like Bitcoin, but personally, I'm a big fan, and I think that they can come back up. There's been a lot of, I've seen a lot of things on Twitter about people like post, like they go out to the week chart like this, and they'll like be like, okay, as you can see, we pulled back here. They do like Elliott wave, fucking, I don't know, like all that stuff on it. But, honestly, I think we are due for a nice pullback, and this is what we're seeing right now. And if anything, we're going to be pushing highs here sooner or later, especially if we get under a Trump administration. Trump has already said great things for Bitcoin. He's saying that he wants the Federal Reserve to buy Bitcoin. I think like a lot of it as well. So, if he gets elected, expect Bitcoin to just shoot up, right? Definitely almost a guarantee if he gets elected that Bitcoin will shoot up. Apple has been doing great. My long terms are loving this price action from Apple, right? So huge. I'm a huge bull. Obviously, I've said that before. I'll say it again. I'm a huge bull in this market. And it's just great signs all around for the market right now. Everything is strong. We're just moving very nicely. And it's a great time to invest in the market. I do think we did have a Netflix play not too long ago. If I could pull it up real quick. Yep. So August 6th, we did have a Netflix play. Great. I mean, I just want to say, if you got in on this play, let me know how Nobu is. All right. Let me know how the private jet is. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Look at this play. Just straight up. The bot called it at 11:01 a.m. Doesn't even matter what time you entered, as long as you entered on the 6th of August. But pretty good entry there from the bot. And we just shot to the upside, right? Just absolutely shot to the upside. We're almost, I think honestly, we're testing 700 here. Dare I say we test 700 here. The great thing about Netflix as well, and buying into it at all, is this isn't the all-time high for Netflix, right? We've already touched 700. And then did it start the biggest downtrend ever? Yes. So if you are in this play, watch out for that resistance overhead, as it's really strong, as you can see here. We touched 700 on this candle, almost 701, and then Netflix kind of fell off the face of the earth. This was also like a great, uncertain time in the market. I do believe this late 21 to mid 22 area. And I don't think Netflix was doing too good, but nevertheless, right? It's looking great for Netflix here. Not any gap ups in price, and those gaps. Well, actually, this gap has not been filled. So if we do pull back, or if we do touch that 700, watch for a move down to like maybe the 500s, maybe even a bit lower. But Netflix, great play there from the bot, and I just like showing you guys this just because these are some great call outs that you can get in. Obviously, let's be realistic. Not every call out works. I'm not saying full port every call. Do your own due diligence with these calls. These bots are just meant to track where, these big investors and big hedges are putting their money. And then that can kind of get you a trade backed by a lot of money, right? It's kind of, common sense, right? When there's a lot of buyers or a lot of money flowing into a stock, either in bullish or bearish direction, it's more likely that that money will cause the direction of the stock to move that way, or security to move that way. And that's exactly what we can see here. It's just basic supply and demand there. And it's great. We're just doing great in the market right now. And really happy to see how we move tomorrow. Not opposed to a downtrend at all. Could move some puts here on the day trading account, but we'll just see. But we're going to go ahead and take a look at our earnings calendar for next week. Because there will be no video tomorrow. So just to recap on our earnings from this week, right? We did have Walmart report before open today. They did great. Baba also reported. They were just completely neutral. So they did good on their EPS and then missed on their revenue, and it kind of like evened it out. So they didn't move that much. JD, they're up 4%. So they beat their EPS by 55%, which is crazy. So China stocks moving great right now. PDD also reports next week. So this week we're pretty quiet. Berkshire is reporting, but I don't know anyone who day trades Berkshire. So, for all those long-term holders out there, Berkshire is reporting. Moving on to next week, though, super, super quiet week. Only notable ones I see here: Lowe's, Target, Zoom, TD, TD. What am I saying? Bidu and Billy, those are two China stocks. Chinese market, right? And I don't see PDD actually. I might be confused here. Hold on. PDD. Could have swore 7 days. So a week from. Am I missing something? PDD. Well, PDD is not on here. I might be slightly slow here. Okay, I guess PDD is just not on here. PDD does report in a week from today, though, so watch out for that. Super quiet earnings week, right? I feel like I'm just completely overlooking PDD, and it's completely messing with me. But not a whole lot on the economic calendar either next week. So the VIX should lower, providing that Israel, Iran doesn't attack each other. Oh, and I did say I was going to get some news on that, so we will pull up some news on that real quick. So I know this might be kind of biased, but this is the Jerusalem Post. Iran could attack with no coming warning, possibly in the next few days. So that's never a good sign, right? But it looks like they're preparing for it. So, hopefully it doesn't happen. We do have the U.S. kind of pooling troops over there as well. I know I just saw an article on that. U.S. should strike now. Like, it's not looking too good in the news, right? But basically, just a basic rundown of this is that, we're seeing the U.S. kind of get more involved, right? Which is not exactly the best thing for the U.S. economy. Maybe for defense stocks, but not the best thing for U.S. economies. Lebanon's evacuating people from prisons. Hamas, they don't want a ceasefire anymore. So, even though Iran said that they would rethink retaliation. So it's not looking too great. There's a lot of travel being moved around in the region, so definitely not very stable over there right now. But please be sure to join our Discord for more updates on all this, more updates on our plays right as soon as they come out, and more. And that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in to the trading table, and we'll see you guys on Saturday for our Saturday video.